friends with benefits and won't work in a relationship.
Y'all know it had necessarily be like friends with benefits, but like sex on the first date or like whatever. That's still.
Sex on the first date can't work. Is what you're saying?
I'm not saying it can't. I don't think it's as successful as dating, getting to know somebody, and then you feel me opening that up.
Mm.
I don't know. I disagree with
I
that,
disagree
man.
with
Like, you know
that
what I'm
too.
saying?
Why?
I have situations where we hit it off on the first night, but we had an amazing night. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just vibed and it just led to that.
No, but I'm saying successful in the long run though. It's not built off nothing but lust. Lust could be found anywhere.
We built up that, you know, that relationship or whatever the case is, and then, you know, even prior to us like going out, like it's not like I just met her that same day we went out.
Right.
Like, you know, we already was building a connection, then we went out, was the vibe was still good, and then, you know, things just happened, and then we still are in that space.
I would say in my experience, this.
And this is why black men are historically hypocritical. Not all of y'all. Ace and Eli, 100% so. These are the same young men who sit on a podcast calling girls hoes and whores because they just basically like, if I'm gonna give you some, I'm gonna give you some because that's what I want to do, and you gonna have to take me down and take me out and kick me down financially if that's what you know you want to do, because although sex is the equal exchange, as a woman, if you haven't wined me and dined me, why would I even feel the need to act on my sexual attraction with you when I know you just gonna treat me like a throwaway anyway? And they be accusing these same women of prostitution and all these other things, right? But you are vehemently stating that if you go on a date with a woman and on the first night she give you some, she not hoeing, and you feel as if that could have a success rate, but neither of y'all are in a relationship engagement, no, in an engagement or marriage with any of these women that y'all hit on the first night. And so I fully agree with the sister when she began to say that it's not going to be built off anything but lust. I made the comment a while ago, and I could tell it offended somebody, and I don't care. I could give three-quarters of a rat's behind, because whatever I say is applicable to me first. And if it happened to offend you, that means that you need to get up out that seat that allowed your feet to get stepped on, and you don't need to be there no again. I began to say that I will never juice my way into a relationship. I'm not doing it. If a Negro, and I'm just speaking, I'm not saying now, I'm 38 years old. Ooh, if a Negro give me some on the first date, I'm not taking him serious. I don't care how many emotions, quote unquote, may end up getting involved over them next few months and all this other stuff. I'm not finna take you serious, because why don't you honor your body enough? Why are you giving me access to you like this? Why are you tying your emotions into all of this amazing sex? Because at the end of the day, I don't feel as if you taking me serious. A couple of phone calls and a couple of FaceTimes and text message is not rapport building. That's a phone screening. When you begin to withhold for those first few months and actually get to know one another, that's when you're able to make a cognitive decision to say, okay, it's been about 3 months now. Is this person that I see a future with? And if you could go them 3 months without doing anything, you can go 3 more months and that man to put a ring on your finger. It's just simple math, because within them first 90 days and before that, that man know what category he is going to place you in. And no matter how much vagina you put on the table, you are not going to be removed from that category. This is how women go from being friends with benefits to screwing their way into relationships. It becomes an ultimatum. I'm going to take the vagina away from you because you've kept me in this position as friends with benefits for all of these years. For this 6 months to a year, 2 months to 2 year, 5 years, whatever. So now I'm about to remove the vagina because I realize that that's where the power lies. So I'm about to tell you, hey, I don't want to do this anymore because it's not going nowhere and I'm just over it. Then the man will feel either like, okay, I'm finna leave her alone, or obligated to upgrade you so you don't go messing with somebody else. Because men know that it's about an 80% chance that a lot of times after a woman starts dealing with him and she dealing with him on a consistent basis, that's going to end up being the only man that she's dealing with. sexually, emotionally, and everything else. It's easy for a man to chop a woman down and for her to begin to idealize him because he's spending time with her. He's taking her out on dates. But at the end of the day, she is still in that category. So if you are a woman who gained a title after being friends with benefits, I need you to begin to assess yourself appropriately in the eyesight of this man, because that's all he saw you as initially. He didn't come in taking you serious, wanting to court you, wanting to take you out, wanting to keep your body and his off the table so that you guys can be cognitive, conscious, and aware about the decisions that you were going to decide to take. A lot of emotions are rooted in lust. That is why intentions, good intentions, don't matter. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. A lot of emotions that are rooted in lust, and that's why they feel so strong. You fell in love with the sex, not with the person. You got addicted and used to the feeling and the benefit that the convenience of that free vagina got you. And now that she wants to take the free vagina away from you and weaponize it to have you place her in a category that you never intended to place her in, you become willing to do that. Because I'm under the belief system that if a man saw you as anything but friend with benefits, he's going to let you know up front, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Woo, out the bam, this is how I view you. Do. This is how I view you after he begins to get to know you. If a man is pocket watching, your Polly Pocket, that's what he's chasing. Now, the end goal, of course, is going to be to sleep together because we grown and we attracted to one another. But it's just a whole bunch of confusion out here. Upgrading from friends to benefits to relationship to long-term relationship to engagement, maybe, because it don't always end up there. And then I know some women, they be like, well, my man married me after I gave him something on the first date. Cool story. Some men don't deny loving hoes. It's the men who say that they don't love hoes. But it be indicative, because even if he say that he love you and you was giving him some, whether it's on the first date or friends with benefits, and he still has not honored you by giving you his name, or he keeps you in a long-term relationships, or keep a baby in you, or all of these other things, it's not love. And just because a man is willing to marry you after getting some from you as friends with benefits or anything of that nature does not mean that he completely honors you. Unless he's just a man who like hoes. And it's one thing to be a hoe. It's another thing to let a nigga who you've operated as a hoe with wife you. And that's where a lot of women end up going wrong, because, baby, he still viewed you as a hoe. He just decided to make you a wife for whatever reason. And you could be a happy whole wife and live your happy whole life, but she was absolutely correct. A lot of these relationships are built off lust, and that's why they have no long-term standing. People end up miserable, realizing that they are not fully compatible, that they are not truly happy in certain areas, and that they realize themselves. A lot of women end up with men that they are not fulfilled by, because they allowed their emotions behind giving their vagina up to the same man consistently, then removing it, and then finally getting entitled. When all of that died down, they be like, he's angry, he's insecure, he's this, he's that, he's do, but he's faithful, so I'm take it. Or he's unfaithful, but I knew this is the type of man that I was in. Like a lot of these women who end up being, quote unquote, upgraded from friends to benefit, or one night stand to long-term girlfriend, fiance, or wife, are unfulfilled. And if you don't believe me, ask me how I know. Yeah, just ask me how I know. This is Jacoya.